Good morning, everybody.
And welcome back to this week's edition of TCS Student News. I'm your host, Ronan.
And I'm your co-host, Aidan. Let's get right into the news. The Pakistani Prime Minister, Imran Khan, said Monday that he received a letter from President Trump that asked for his government's help and cooperation in advancing peace talks with the Afghan Taliban. Both the Foreign Ministry and Information Minister, Fawad Qadri, confirmed that the letters have been received, but the U.S. officials have not. Qadri said that the U.S. President told Khan that relations with Pakistan were very important to solving the Afghan conflict, including even trying to bring the insurgents to the negotiating table. This letter is the first time President Trump has had direct communications with Khan since he took office, although they have had some indirect communications on Twitter when both of them were talking about aid being cut to Pakistan. Khan has met with Taliban leaders before, and Trump hopes that he will help us on the path to bring peace in the region. However, people are skeptical as to how Pakistan will react with this, considering all the comments that the current administration has made and the recent aid cut. But Trump has acknowledged all the war and terrorism costs that the U.S. and Pakistan have to pay, and hopes we can create new opportunities and renew an old partnership.
I hope we can come to an agreement with Pakistan to help with the war on terrorism. The Centers of Disease Control and Prevention are investigating a tick that is spreading widely across the U.S. The concern about the Asian longhorn tick is that it causes massive infestations on animals and the environment, which is very dangerous. 9 states reported finding the Asian longhorn tick, which carries a variety of pathogens, which has the symptoms of enlarged lymph nodes, anorexia, labored breathing, nasal discharge, and diarrhea, which can kill the animal if it doesn't get treatment. But why is this a concern? The Asian longhorn tick has a liking to cows, and so do most Americans. We get burgers and dairy products for them, and if their products are infected with the symptoms or another serious disease such as SFTS virus, which causes the Japanese spotted fever, which is also carried by the tick.
Ukraine has started to send troops to the Russian border in fear of an invasion. President Petro Poroshenko declares martial law in 10 regions, and announced the deployment of troops on Monday due to a sharp increase in Russian forces along their borders, and in an occupied territory, Crimea. Poroshenko claims that Russia was trying to capture the major port city of Mariupol and create a land corridor to Crimea. But President Vladimir Putin's spokesman fired back and called Ukraine leader's statement absolutely absurd, and accused him of once again provoking tensions right before the presidential election. The escalation stems from a situation in which Russian forces fired upon and seized 3 Ukrainian Navy ships, attempting to enter the Sea of Azov through the Kerch Strait. Russia captured 24 Ukrainian sailors that now face up to 6 years in prison on charges of violating Russian borders. Ukraine is also not happy because Moscow has been backing separatist groups in eastern Ukraine that have caused more than 10,000 deaths since 2014. The Ukrainian military said it planned to stage military exercises in 2 regions near Crimea, which Moscow annexed in 2014.
Executives are now breathing easy after the trade war between the world's 2 largest economies cooled significantly over the weekend. A tariff hike on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods was supposed to go in effect on January 1st, but has put on hold for 3 months. The tariffs already imposed remain, and new ones could still be imposed. Washington, D.C. and Beijing have simply agreed to take a timeout and talk. The trade war between the United States and China has been a major concern for executives and investors. Companies have faced higher costs. American farmers are hurting badly from China's retaliatory tariffs on U.S. soybeans. And the next wave of tariffs would have directly raised the cost of consumer goods, including potentially Apple's iPhones. American farmers, who have been caught in the crossfire of the trade war, could enjoy immediate benefit. China agreed to increase the imports of various U.S. products with an early focus on agriculture. However, the 25% tariff on soybean imports into China remains. For now, at least. The bigger picture, Trump has succeeded in getting China to come to a bargaining table to talk about the reforms to practices and have long angered American businesses. The organization represents large U.S. companies that employ nearly 15 million people. The truce is only effective for 90 days, which isn't enough time to come to an agreement.
Now, let's hop into the school's news. On November 13th, the school took a trip to the Real News Network, and it was a lot of fun. But this time, a man by the name of Eddie Conway from the Real News Network came and visited our school. Last Friday, Eddie Conway joined us for a conversation where he told us about his life. In fact, Mr. Eddie and Mr. Tom have known each other for many years. They met when Mr. Tom was in his teens. Mr. Eddie has had a very active life. He was involved in many protests and was even wrongfully imprisoned for 44 years. He yet still was able to manage to stay connected with the outside world and stay involved in change. He even organized protests outside the prison from the inside. The conversation with him was very inspiring, and we can't wait to talk to you again.
Last Saturday, the school held a Thanksgiving potluck, which was amazing, by the way. There were meatball subs, mac and cheese, ham, lasagna, chili, vegetables, pupusas, taco bar, and desserts that consisted of cupcakes, pie, flan, fruits, and other goodies. There were decorations like the Thanksgiving tree where people put what they were thankful for onto little leaves made of paper. I want to thank, on behalf of the school, all the people who supported or helped with cleaning up, serving food, and bringing food, and overall making everyone's night. But we want to give a special thanks to Miss Janae because without her, none of this would have been possible. And also thank you to Miss Tina for coordinating cleanup.
This past Sunday, a few of the students and Mr. Dave decorated the school for Christmas, along with Mr. Tom's help, of course. The students consisted of myself, Olivia, Jacob, Claude, and Donald. We gathered at the school around 10:30 and started to decorate the school. Thank you for those who helped turn the school into a winter wonderland.
The second trimester has started, and I want to congratulate all the students on completing the first trimester. Things can only get better from here, and I hope you all do great in this second trimester.
This week, we had some great lunches. First, Miss Carol brought in mac and cheese with chicken in it. Then, we had Thanksgiving leftovers. They were delicious. Miss Amina also brought in chicken noodle soup and sandwiches. All the lunches this week were amazing, and we are thankful for all the great food we were given the chance to eat.
On Tuesday nights, the school went to an annual event for the Associated Italian Americans Charity, or the AIAC, which happens to support projects and fundraisers for different causes around Baltimore. This project originally started as a way for the Italian community to give back and help other Italian immigrants with living in the U.S. This year, the AIAC donated over $380,000 to projects and fundraisers to show their support within Baltimore. The events this year was held at the Grand Lodge of Maryland. It was also great to connect with classmates outside the school setting. The AIAC event was great to be a part of and was very inspirational for my classmates and me. At the event, we also had a moment of silence to a fallen police officer. I thought that was really amazing. Miss Eddie gave a speech about what the school has done for her and everyone else, which everyone thought in the event was really inspiring. It was really good, and then to know that people support the school, the students, and the school itself. The AIC even gave a donation to help the school. The school is very grateful for this donation, and we want to thank them for all that they have done to help the school function for an amazing relationship.
I really enjoyed the event. It was so much fun hearing about all the different charities and organizations there. I can't wait to go again next year. My favorite part was when we were all on stage and Miss Sadie spoke about the school. Mr. Noah and Mr. Tom treat the students and each other like family, she said. When she was done speaking, the whole room stood up and gave us school a standing ovation. The whole school and I were honored. Thank you to the people at AIC for giving us this opportunity.
Well, on that note, we hope each and every one of you watching us has a great and wonderful week. I am Ronan.
And I am Aidan, and we are signing off for this week's edition of TCS Student News.